Top tips for racing pigeons in winter, a comprehensive guide for fanciers. Winter management separates championship lofts from the rest. Whilst the racing season may have concluded, the work of a dedicated fancier never truly stops. The cold months ahead present both challenges and opportunities, a crucial period where proper care determines next season's success. This comprehensive guide draws upon decades of expertise from top European and North American lofts, revealing the essential strategies that transform winter from a period of mere survival into a season of preparation and growth. Whether you're a seasoned competitor or an ambitious newcomer, these proven tips will help your birds not just endure winter, but thrive through it, emerging stronger and more competitive when racing resumes. Understanding the winter challenge for racing pigeons. The energy equation. Winter fundamentally changes your pigeon's physiological demands. Scientific studies demonstrate that cold temperatures increase energy requirements by up to 30% simply to maintain proper body heat. Unlike mammals with sophisticated thermoregulation systems, pigeons depend entirely on two critical factors: metabolic heat generated from food consumption and the insulating properties of their feather coat. The cost of neglect. Inadequate winter care creates a cascade of problems that extend far beyond the cold months. Birds suffering from insufficient nutrition during winter experience progressive weight loss, compromised immune function, and diminished racing performance that persists well into the following season. Poor feather quality resulting from winter stress affects aerodynamics and heat retention simultaneously. Many fanciers mistakenly believe winter is a time to relax their management routines. This couldn't be further from the truth. Successful winter management requires a thoughtful adaptation of feeding protocols, health monitoring, and environmental controls. The birds that dominate the prize lists come spring are invariably those that received meticulous attention throughout the preceding winter months. Understanding these challenges is the first step towards implementing the strategic changes that will keep your loft competitive and your birds in peak condition year-round. Understanding these challenges is the first step towards implementing the strategic changes that will keep your loft competitive and your birds in peak condition year-round. Selection and culling, preparing your loft for winter. The overcrowding problem. Most lofts harbor too many pigeons, birds that consume resources whilst contributing little to breeding or racing success. Overcrowding increases disease transmission, elevates stress levels, and dilutes the quality of your stock. Ruthless selection. Championship lofts routinely cull 50 to 66% of their birds before winter. This isn't cruelty, it's strategic management. Retain only your strongest, most consistent performers and promising youngsters with proven genetics. The quality advantage. Reducing numbers dramatically improves loft vitality. Fewer birds mean better air quality, reduced disease pressure, more individual attention, and lower feed costs, all whilst maintaining or improving your competitive potential. Top European lofts have demonstrated this principle for generations. The Jansen brothers, Van Loon, and other legendary names built their reputations not just on breeding genius, but on merciless culling. They understood that keeping mediocre birds out of sentimentality undermines the entire loft's health and performance. Before winter arrives, conduct an honest evaluation of every bird. Consider racing results, breeding contributions, health history, and temperament. Those that don't measure up should be removed. This difficult decision creates space, literally and figuratively, for your champions to flourish. Remember, a smaller loft of exceptional birds will always outperform a crowded loft of mixed quality. Winter survival rates improve, disease incidents decrease, and come spring, you'll have a lean, mean racing team ready to dominate the skies. Molting in autumn, the critical transition phase. The autumn molt represents one of the most metabolically demanding periods in a pigeon's annual cycle. This natural process, where birds shed old feathers and grow fresh plumage, requires extraordinary nutritional support and optimal health conditions. Understanding and properly managing the molt directly impacts winter survival and subsequent racing performance. Birds entering winter with incomplete or poor quality molts face significant disadvantages in both thermoregulation and aerodynamic efficiency. Increase protein levels. Elevate dietary protein to 16 to 18% during active molt. Feathers are composed primarily of protein, specifically keratin, and inadequate protein intake results in weak, brittle feathers with poor structure. Quality protein sources include beans, peas, and specifically formulated molt mixes. Eliminate parasites. Molting birds cannot afford to share nutrients with internal or external parasites. Conduct thorough parasite treatments before molt begins. Worms, coccidia, and canker all compromise nutrient absorption and feather quality. Strategic supplementation. Supplement diets with wheat germ oil or cod liver oil 2 to 3 times weekly. These provide essential fatty acids and vitamins A, D, and E, which support healthy skin, feather follicles, and immune function during this stressful period. Separate the sexes. Keeping cocks and hens apart during molt prevents breeding distractions and reduces stress. Birds can focus their energy entirely on feather regeneration rather than courtship behaviors and reproductive demands. Never underestimate the molt's importance. Birds that complete a full, healthy molt with strong, well-formed feathers enter winter with proper insulation and the structural foundation for next season's racing success. Conversely, birds with incomplete molts or poor feather quality struggle throughout winter, experiencing increased energy demands, greater susceptibility to illness, and compromised performance potential. The investment you make in supporting the autumn molt pays dividends throughout the entire following year. Feeding strategies for cold weather success. Winter feeding requires a fundamental shift in approach compared to warmer months or the racing season. The nutritional demands change dramatically as birds transition from athletic performance to energy conservation and body heat maintenance. Getting the feed mixture and timing right makes the difference between birds that merely survive winter and those that thrive, emerging in spring with excellent condition and race readiness. Post-molt protein reduction. After the autumn molt completes, reduce protein levels to 12 to 14%. Excessive protein during winter creates unnecessary metabolic heat production and can lead to kidney stress. The focus shifts from tissue building to energy provision. Increase fats and carbohydrates. Winter diets should be rich in energy-dense fats and complex carbohydrates. Fats provide more than twice the energy per gram compared to proteins or carbs, making them ideal for cold weather. Incorporate sunflower hearts, safflower seeds, and peanuts liberally. Implement twice daily feeding. Split daily rations into morning and evening feeds. This approach improves digestion, maintains stable energy levels, and prevents the sluggishness associated with large single meals whilst preparing birds for the racing season's feeding patterns. Morning feed composition. Lighter cleansing mix, higher proportion of barley, smaller wheat content, activates metabolism, fuels daytime activity. Evening feed composition. Energy-dense mixture. High corn content, 40 to 50%, generous fats, sunflower, peanuts, safflower seeds for sustained release. Avoid the common mistake of overfeeding. Whilst birds need more energy in winter, excess feed leads to obesity, sluggishness, and poor racing condition come spring. Monitor body condition daily, adjusting feed quantities based on weather severity, individual bird condition, and activity levels. On particularly cold nights, slightly increase the evening feed. During mild spells, reduce portions to prevent weight gain. This dynamic approach, responding to conditions rather than following rigid schedules, produces birds that enter the breeding and racing seasons in optimal condition, neither undernourished nor overweight, but perfectly balanced and ready to perform. Hydration and water management in winter. The freezing challenge. water management becomes significantly more challenging during winter months. Frozen water supplies represent a serious threat to bird health, yet many fanciers underestimate this risk. Pigeons require constant access to fresh water for digestion, thermoregulation, and metabolic processes. Even a few hours without water can compromise health, especially when birds are consuming energy-dense winter feeds that require adequate hydration for proper digestion. Invest in electric water heaters or heated water bowls specifically designed for poultry use. These devices maintain water at temperatures just above freezing, ensuring availability without wasting energy on excessive heating. Position heated waterers in sheltered areas of the loft where they're protected from wind whilst remaining easily accessible to all birds. Water quality matters. Winter doesn't eliminate the need for rigorous water hygiene. Change water frequently, at least daily, twice daily if possible. Stagnant water, even when not frozen, harbors bacteria that multiply despite cold temperatures. Clean water encourages drinking, which many pigeons reduce during winter, increasing dehydration risks. Dehydration in cold weather is counterintuitive, but real. Birds lose significant moisture through respiration, particularly in dry winter air. Monitor water consumption and watch for signs of dehydration, dark droppings, lethargy, and loss of skin elasticity. Consider adding electrolytes to water weekly during particularly cold spells to encourage drinking and replace minerals lost through increased metabolic demands. Prevention strategy. Use multiple water stations to ensure frozen or contaminated water at one location doesn't leave birds without access. Redundancy in water supply is cheap insurance against winter health problems. Temperature monitoring. Check water temperatures morning and evening. Water that's too cold discourages drinking almost as effectively as ice. Slightly warmed water, tepid, not hot, encourages consumption during cold snaps. Parasite control and vaccination during winter. A common misconception holds that parasites disappear during winter. Whilst cold weather slows parasite life cycles, it certainly doesn't eliminate them. In fact, the confined conditions of winter loft management can facilitate parasite transmission amongst birds. Maintaining vigilant parasite control throughout winter is essential for bird health and spring racing preparation. Strategic vaccination. Post-racing season, before breeding preparation begins, is the ideal time for essential vaccinations. Vaccinate all birds for paramyxovirus, PMV, as this devastating disease can destroy an entire loft's racing potential. Salmonella vaccination provides additional protection, particularly in areas where this disease is prevalent. Avoid unnecessary pox vaccination in mature birds unless you're in a high-risk area. Young birds benefit from pox vaccination, but repeated vaccination of older birds provides minimal additional benefit whilst causing stress and potential side effects. Deep clean the loft at the start of winter and maintain regular cleaning throughout. Remove accumulated droppings, disinfect perches and nest boxes, and ensure proper ventilation to reduce humidity that encourages parasite survival. This environmental management, combined with strategic medication, creates conditions where parasites struggle to establish whilst your birds thrive. Loft environment, shelter, temperature, and ventilation. Creating the optimal loft environment for winter represents a delicate balance between protection and ventilation, warmth and freshness, shelter and airflow. Pigeons are remarkably hardy birds, capable of tolerating significant cold provided they're protected from the elements that truly threaten their health: wind, dampness, and drafts. Understanding this distinction guides effective winter loft management. Draft protection. Insulate lofts against wind penetration using polycarbonate panels or heavy-duty mesh tarps on exposed walls. Block drafts at bird level whilst maintaining ventilation near the roof. Cold, still air is far less dangerous than cold, moving air that strips away the insulating layer around birds' bodies. Temperature management. Avoid supplemental heating except in extreme conditions. Artificial heat creates dependency, increases fire risks, and can cause burns if birds contact heating elements. Instead, gradually acclimate birds to dropping temperatures by ensuring stable overnight temperatures above 40 degrees Fahrenheit, 4 degrees Celsius, before winter's full arrival. Ventilation balance. Never seal the loft completely. Fresh air exchange remains essential even in winter. Install adjustable vents high on the loft to remove moisture-laden air whilst preventing drafts at bird level.
Condensation on walls or windows indicates inadequate ventilation requiring immediate correction. Nest box preparation. Provide dry, cozy nest boxes even for non-breeding birds. Line boxes with straw or pine needles, which provide excellent insulation whilst remaining easy to replace. Some fanciers use reflective materials behind nest boxes to reduce heat loss through walls. Ensure boxes are raised off cold floors and positioned away from direct drafts. Rodent control. Winter drives rats and mice indoors, bringing serious salmonella risks. These pests contaminate feed, spread disease, and stress birds. Deploy bait stations safely positioned where pigeons cannot access them. Check and refresh bait regularly as rodent pressure increases throughout winter. Walk through your loft on cold, windy evenings. Feel for drafts at bird level, check for condensation indicating poor ventilation, and ensure all birds can access sheltered areas. The goal is creating a stable microclimate, cold enough that birds develop proper winter conditioning, but protected enough that they're not battling wind and dampness that exhaust energy reserves. This balanced environment allows birds to maintain condition efficiently, neither stressed by extreme cold nor softened by artificial heat. Minerals, supplements, and health monitoring. Winter's metabolic demands extend beyond basic nutrition to micronutrients often overlooked by fanciers. Increased energy production generates greater mineral and electrolyte losses through waste products and respiration. Simultaneously, reduced daylight hours affect vitamin D synthesis, whilst cold stress challenges immune function. Strategic supplementation addresses these heightened requirements, supporting overall health and maintaining competitive condition throughout winter. Daily mineral access. Provide grit and comprehensive mineral mixes ad libitum year-round, with particular emphasis during winter. These supply calcium for bone health and eggshell formation, phosphorus for energy metabolism, and trace minerals essential for immune function. Pickstone or mineral blocks offer sustained release of these critical nutrients. Vitamin supplementation. Add multivitamin and electrolyte supplements to drinking water weekly during winter. These compensate for reduced synthesis and increased metabolic losses. Focus on water-soluble B-complex vitamins, supporting energy metabolism, and vitamin C for immune enhancement during stress periods. Daily observation. Spend time observing birds each day. Watch for early warning signs: lethargy, pluffed feathers, reluctance to perch normally, dull eye appearance, or respiratory sounds. Early intervention prevents minor issues from becoming serious illness. Handle birds weekly to assess body condition and muscle tone. Immune support. Winter challenges immune systems. Supplement with probiotics to support digestive health and immune function. Garlic extract or cider vinegar in water 2 or 3 times weekly provides natural antimicrobial support. These gentle interventions maintain resistance without the stress of constant medication. Proactive health management. Maintain detailed health records throughout winter. Note any treatments administered, unusual symptoms observed, or environmental changes made. This documentation proves invaluable for identifying patterns and refining your management approach year after year. Watch droppings daily. They're the most accessible health indicator. Normal droppings should be firm with distinct white urite camps. Loose, discolored, or bloody droppings warrant immediate investigation and potential treatment. Similarly, monitor feed consumption. Sudden decreases often indicate health problems before other symptoms appear. The fancier who catches problems early, who notice subtle changes in behavior or appearance, consistently maintains healthier lofts and more competitive birds. Winter health monitoring isn't about paranoia, it's about attentiveness. Your birds cannot tell you when something is wrong, but they constantly communicate through behavior, appearance, and condition. Learning to read these signals transforms you into a true fancier. Conclusion. Winter care pays off in racing success. Excellence in pigeon racing isn't achieved solely during the racing season. Champions are forged in the quieter months through consistent, thoughtful management when temptation suggests relaxation. The comprehensive winter care strategies detailed in this guide focus nutrition, vigilant health management, optimal environmental conditions, and strategic selection build the foundation upon which racing success is constructed. Energy increase. Additional metabolic demands in winter cold. Recommended culling. Percentage of birds' top lofts remove before winter. Molt protein. Dietary protein percentage during autumn molt. The lost son. A champion pigeon from a renowned Belgian loft. Cull weak birds, support molt, adjust nutrition. Winter management. Monitor health, maintain environment, strategic feeding. Spring excellence. Strong, conditioned birds, ready to dominate races. Winter is not downtime, it's preparation time. The lofts that dominate prize lists understand this fundamental truth. They recognize that every season connects to the next, that shortcuts taken in winter manifest as disappointments in racing results. Conversely, the dedication invested during cold months pays dividends throughout the entire following year. Commit to these principles. Observe your birds daily with the eye of a true fancier. Adjust your management based on their condition and the weather's demands. Invest in quality nutrition, maintain immaculate health protocols, and create an environment where your birds don't merely survive winter, they thrive through it. The relationship between fancier and pigeon is one of mutual dependence and respect. Take exceptional care of your pigeons through winter's challenges, provide them everything they need to flourish, and they will reward your dedication with performances that make all the effort worthwhile. Remember the wisdom passed down through generations of successful fanciers. Take good care of your pigeons, and they will take good care of you. Winter care isn't just management, it's the foundation of racing greatness.
Get my main racing system, just email me direct. I'm an experienced ex-pigeon racer from England, and I can offer valuable insights and guidance on all aspects of pigeon racing, from breeding to racing. During my racing days, I managed a small team of no more than 70 pigeons, including stock, young birds, and old birds. It was not uncommon for me to send as few as 6 birds to a race and still secure the top 3 positions out of up to 2,500 pigeons in my club and federation. My race distances typically ranged up to 300 miles, and I consistently achieved top 5 placements in my club. My expertise extends to the art of selecting excellent breeders, including evaluating pigeons based on their eye-sign characteristics. I firmly believe that true champions can only be bred from top quality stock, and I can guide you in identifying and acquiring such pigeons. I understand that many pigeons for sale are advertised based on their lineage or pedigree, but I emphasize the importance of assessing the bird itself rather than relying solely on paperwork. As part of my offer, I invite you to share photos of your pigeons, including their eye-sign and wing characteristics. I'll provide you with free advice on racing and breeding based on my extensive experience and knowledge. Additionally, I will share auction links to high-quality breeding birds that have the potential to produce winners in your loft. Here's what you can expect to receive from me. A comprehensive Word document containing valuable insights and strategies for successful pigeon racing, including specific racing methods for both old and young birds, as well as general advice. Private YouTube videos sent to your email, covering various aspects of pigeon racing, from breeding to race preparation. Detailed recommendations on supplements and additives to add to your pigeons' drinking water, with scientific evidence supporting their effectiveness. Similar products are used by professional athletes and racehorses to enhance performance. Assurance that your pigeons will race home faster, provided that you have quality birds to begin with.